Oh yeah, don't fence me in. I don't like to be fenced in either. But when it comes down to a good song, I'm all ears, especially that song by Cole Porter back in the day. You know what I mean? And I hear that Tori Holub, I'm going to try to say it right tonight, Tori Holub, she has her version of that. She thinks she can do that song some justice. Yeah, we'll see.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I tell you what, that's a great song by Cole Porter, Don't Fence Me In. Like I said, I'm not a real big fan of country, but that song is very catchy, man, and it spans through a lot of history in America, and it's a big song in most people's eyes. But the thing is, Tori Holub says that she can do it some justice, along with her friend Dan Wesley. I hear they got a little video. A friend of the channel, Joe, he says, hey, take a look at it, man, and see what you think about it. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. But before we do that, I first want to go back and quickly look at the history of that song and where it came from. Hey, it's got a big history. A lot of things happened with that thing that made it big enough to the point that people in 2025 are trying to remake it or redo it or do their version of it anyway. So that's what we're going to look at. First, give me a couple of minutes and we're going to look at the history of that song, and we're going to come back and watch Tori and Dan do their thing. I hear it's a humdinger, you know what I mean?
Land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in.
Yeah, man. Hollywood was booming. Musicals were king, and Cole Porter, that dude, master of clever, witty lyrics, if you know anything about him, he gets asked to write a cowboy song for a flick called Adios Argentina. They wanted a Western vibe with that big city polish. At the same time, a poet from Montana named Robert Fletcher had written a poem called Open Range. The poem was filled with visions of wide open spaces and that unmistakable call of freedom. Porter had to have it, and he bought the words for $250. Seemed like a lot back then, but for Porter, the words would become more than Fletcher could ever have imagined, because Porter took that poem, rearranged the lines, added some verses, sprinkled in that signature Porter flair, and set it to music. At first, only Porter got credit for the song, but he wanted Fletcher to be recognized too, except the publishers wanted to limit the hands in the cookie jar. So they just said nope. In that movie, Adios Argentina, man, that thing got slapped on the shelf. The scripts kept shifting, and the musical was starting to get a little too expensive to make. Plus, Porter's old cowboy song didn't fit the new plans. But a great song doesn't wait on Hollywood's approval, so it had to do its own thing, and it sure would.
The starry skies above, don't fence me in.
The first artist to sing it was Kate Smith, who introduced it on a radio show in 1934. It became popular, but not as big as it would get. It would take 10 years, and that happened on July 25th in 1944, when Bing Crosby rolled into the studio with the Andrews sisters. They were all there to record new material, and this Cole Porter cowboy tune was on the docket. But check this out, none of them had ever seen the sheet music or rehearsed it before. But because they all had skills, 30 minutes later, man, it was done and became a chart topper.
Don't fence me in.
Just turn me loose.
The sisters always made Crosby's hits pop and sizzle with those harmonies. Over 1 million copies sold and #1 for 8 straight weeks. It was a cultural takeover back then, proving this Western call for freedom resonated across every boundary. Now, by this time, Fletcher had gotten lawyered up, and of course, fella got his due. You want to know the crazy thing? Porter had always said that this song was his least favorite composition. Silly mind of a genius.
Don't fence me in.
Meanwhile, the king of the cowboys himself, Roy Rogers, would bring the song to the silver screen in 1944 in the film Hollywood Canteen. Then it became the centerpiece of his 1945 movie called Don't Fence Me In. He sings the original verses Crosby left out about the outlaw Wildcat Kelly.
I can't stand fences, don't fence me in.
And I gotta tell you the story about the Frank Sinatra incident in 1944. Sinatra was still on the climb and was a featured vocalist on Your Hit Parade, which was the biggest radio show in the country. Yeah, you guessed it, he had to sing Don't Fence Me In on the show, which was currently #1 on the charts. But the conductor accidentally counted the arrangement off just a little too fast for the Lucky Strike Orchestra, and Sinatra just could not keep up with the pace of the lyrics.
To the ridge where the west commences. Too many words, gaze of the moon.
Yeah, the old future chairman of the board got so frustrated that right there on live radio, he slipped up and said something like this.
Too many words.
Yeah, that comment right there, That wasn't just a muck-up, it was like disrespect to the song itself. And the sponsor who was putting up the cash, plus the network brass, all heard that blooper. And boom, just like that, Sinatra was canned from the show. Yeah, Frankie. In music, timing isn't just everything, it's the only thing if you want to keep a gig. But keeping it real, they had to bring him back because he was just too hot to part with at that time. Yeah, Frankie was just a goofball in that moment, you know what I mean? But over the decades, the song kept evolving. Ella Fitzgerald, Harry Connick Jr., Willie Nelson, and other people took a shot at it, you know what I mean, and make it their own. But right now, we're going to see if Tori can make it her own, along with her friend Dan Wesley. He's a great musician and all. But let's see if these guys can entertain us. I think they will. So let's jump right in. Tori Holub and Dan Wesley doing their thing.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that country flavor.
Oh, give me land, lots of land, under starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze and listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in.
Just turn me loose, let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise.
I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences and gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. And I can't look at hovels and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in.
Man, Dan's just having too much fun with this song, you know what I mean? It's nice so far, man. Very entertaining. I like it.
Oh, give me land, lots of land, under starry skies. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in. Just turn me loose, let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies.
On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. Ba 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 ba. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences and gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. And I can't look at hovels and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. No, Papa, don't you fence me in.
All right, guys. Yeah, I tell you. Wow, what an incredible song, you know what I mean? Cole Porter Road. Let's give a little credit to the guys who did this song right here. Dan Wesley, Tori Holub, and the crew. I tell you what, like I always say, I was never a big fan of country growing up and whatnot. Not because I thought it was bad or anything like that. It just, some of the country music living down in the South just sounded like, it didn't sound like something I wanted to sit around and listen to. Sounded like a lot of mourning and a lot of you know, I'm not going to criticize the music. It's just what it was. I played in orchestras. I played in bands. I played in symphonic bands, all kinds of stuff. And so I'm used to hearing all kinds of different music. So I don't knock music. Music is music, especially if it has an idea and it has an arrangement and it feels good and it sounds good. This song right here makes it a whole different thing, man. It's just like that theater type music. And what they did here takes some courage to put yourself out there on the screen like that, and especially Dan. I mean, he put himself out there. You know what I mean? And Tori, she backed him up with some great singing and stuff, and they all did a good job. And the guy on the piano and whatnot. I really liked that. I really enjoyed that. Very entertaining. That's the least I can say. It was very entertaining. It just impresses me even more about Tori. You can put her anywhere and she can do her thing. And that's what she did right here. And I'm gonna give them an A+ on that, just for the nerve and the effort that they put into that song. I know it took a lot to make it, with the shooting of it and recording it and stuff like that. These guys are serious about what they're doing, and they're trying to get your attention, and you better listen up, because they're going places and they're going further than this. I know she is. She's all type of different genres. She just showed me that she can do some country if she needs to. Anyway, I'm gonna start talking so much. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I want to thank Joe for giving us an opportunity to even know that this existed. And we'll see you next time on the Music Mindset channel, where we'll be trying to do something else to entertain you. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment on the video, and I'll see you guys next time.